Hello everybody and welcome back to Mighty Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler and this week we are making some mana. We are making a lot of mana. We are playing Mono Green Devotion. I believe, I want to make sure I get this right here, it was Anthony Skurzpak. I'm sure I butchered the name, I apologize. But top 32 didn't open with this last month and it felt like a Mighty Modern deck if I've ever seen one. So this deck's actually existed in some form for, of course, a very, very long time. But it's pretty fun. So this hand here, it's got some pieces. I mean, the Utopia Sprawl certainly helps. I think I'm going to lead with the Oath of Nissa. Hopefully we'll have some more information, know what we're working with here. Alright, so I can get a bird. It's probably birds, honestly. We just want to, we have Devotion. Maybe we also, yeah, I think I just want the mana here. Certainly not, you know, the most impressive thing ever, but that's fine. Next turn, we'll play the Utopia Sprawl plus the birds. And then the turn after that, turn 3, we'll have Garruk. And then hopefully have a bunch of mana ready to go on turn 4. And Summoner's Pact for something to deal with our ad nauseam opponent here. Ooh, another Utopia Sprawl is pretty nice. Very nice, actually. Okay, so if I go land... Alright, we'll just go ahead. Our life total doesn't really matter here. May as well just get the Stomping Ground, whatever. And I will just go Utopia Sprawl onto this forest. Choose green. Add double green here. Play the birds. Play the other Utopia Sprawl. Well, you know what? We're going to have a good turn next turn, that's for sure. And see if our opponent... They actually didn't even do anything with their mana. They don't have anything suspended, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not ad nauseam. If it is, it's a pretty mediocre ad nauseam hand. I mean, certainly what it looks like. Temples and Gemstone Mines, it's got to be ad nauseam. But Pentad Prism means we could die next turn, but we're going to get to do some pretty cool stuff this turn. Arbor Elf, not exactly huge there, but still very good. So here's what he can do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4... Devotion, so this already is going to make some mana here. Do I have enough mana? I think I'm one short of playing Garruk and activating this twice. So what I'm going to do is I think just go ahead and activate it the first time. Alright, get a bunch of green into our pool here. Up to 5. That allows us to play Garruk. I don't know what we're going to end up getting here with this Summoner's Pact, but... Alright, we're going to untap these lands with Garruk. We're going to add the 4 here. Well, I guess I should just go ahead and Summoner's Pact first to figure out what I'm going to get. So let's do that. Alright, hopefully we have something that's good here. Garruk Thar, I think, is probably our best one, right? Whenever they cast a non-creature spell, deals 6 damage to that player. So they're going to cast ad nauseam. But they're going to have Angel's Grace, so this actually isn't even going to do anything. That's the thing. They're going to cast the Angel's Grace first before they ad nauseam. So I actually don't think this does anything for us. Honestly, our sideboard does a better job of fighting him than our main deck. I think I might just be getting Acidic Slime and hitting the Pentad Prism, which I won't lie to you, doesn't feel very good, but I just don't think that getting Garruk Thar does anything. Yeah, they're just going to take all this damage, but their life total won't be able to go below 1, so I'm just going to get the Acidic Slime here. Trust me, it did not feel great. Alright, let's go ahead and whatever. We'll just add all the green mana. We have plenty of it here. That's up to 8. Play the Acidic Slime. I didn't make any changes to this deck. Actually, I made one change. I put in a Thragtusk over a Crater Hoof. Maybe that's right. Maybe it's wrong. I don't know. Wow, is our opponent actually going to... They're going to Spoils of the Vault here. Okay. Interesting. Do I get to know what they named? Not till it resolves? Okay. They named Pact of Negation. Oh, I'm looking in chat. They named the Pact of Negation because they knew that as Acidic Slime in their Pentad Prism was, I guess, going to be pretty bad for them. So they went to get Yeah, I think they wanted to get Pact of Negation, counter the Acidic Slime, untap, play Angel's Grace with a Pact trigger on the stack, don't lose the game to Pact, then cast Ad Nauseam and win. And instead, they just revealed 21 cards and died to their own spoils of the vault, which reveals until you hit the named card, and you lose 1 life for each of the exiled cards. So, yeah, that works out. That's one way to get a win. I'll take it. Because I actually don't know if we were going to win that game. All right, onto the sideboard here. Definitely, I guess we want the ley lines. I'm honestly not sure. I know I want the Damping Sphere. I think the Thragtusk does much. The Choke doesn't really do anything. The Ballistas don't do too much. The Fracturing Gusts, well, they're pretty hit or miss, but I mean, they might be better than some other random things. Hard to say, actually. I don't know. They could, if we have a nice ramp start, they can be okay, but they're never going to be great. Worship, I think we definitely want. This forces them to win with Laboratory Maniac rather than hitting our face for a bunch of damage, so that's something. We'll go ahead and cut the... I don't know what to cut. I guess I'm going to cut the... probably the Primeval Titan. It really doesn't do much here. We kind of just want to draw Nykthos. I don't think we have the time to play a Primeval Titan, go get Nykthos, and then do something with our mana. Maybe it's like Nissa Crater Hoof. I don't know. Maybe I'll add back in between games here. I was just thinking, I was just looking at the suite, and I was like, man, I really like having access to Thragtusk. But maybe we just wanted Crater if we just need to end the game sometimes. I don't know. All right, moving on. Do we want the rest in peace? Doesn't really matter. What about the Leyline of Sanctity? It means they can't target us, but if they draw their hand, they can target us anyways. That's why I'm so iffy. Yeah, they can't Lightning Storm us with Leyline in play, but if they're Lightning Storming us, it means they've drawn the entire deck, and they probably have an answer to Leyline, right? That said, you know, it might... We have to be careful not to cut too much Devotion symbols here. I guess I cut Garruk Thar. We pretty much established it doesn't do too much. I mean, it works fine against Phyrexian Unlife. I'm going to cut a Nissa. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Garruk Thar works well. I'm going to cut 2 Nissas. I'm going to give it a shot. It also kills him. I need to keep creatures to kill them. But it works very well against Phyrexian Unlife, I think. Alright, so we got a Utopia Sprawl and an Oath of Nissa and a land on the draw here. Well, I think I have to keep this. It's, you know, certainly not the most incredible thing to ever come up, but it's okay. The Oath of Nissa on turn 1 to go look for something. The Utopia Sprawl giving us 2 mana on turn 2. When we hopefully play 2 1-drops, like an Arbor Elf and this Utopia Sprawl. And then we're ready to go on turn 3. I mean, obviously we need hit lands here, but that's just the way it's going to be. I don't know. Maybe safe to mulligan here. Maybe since with the Garruk Thar it's a mulligan anyways and the double Summoner's Pact. Hard to say. But we could just draw Nykthos. That would be pretty good too, right? Alright, make sure I read this. We can cast Planeswalkers with any mana. But not necessarily... So, with the Nykthos, the thing is the Nykthos does not make colored mana. So, in order to get the full use out of everything, it's possible I just Utopia Sprawl now. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. And we'll name green and pass the turn here. This way we have access to 3 mana no matter what next turn. I think this is pretty reasonable. We're still on track for a turn 3 Garruk, and then we start Summoner's Pacting for things. Well, the second one, not very helpful as it turns out. Alright, I'd love to Oath of Nissa into an Arbor Elf here. That's what I'm really hoping for. Hey, look, we did it. Beautiful. We play the Arbor Elf. We play the Nykthos, and just like that, we're ready to go next turn. Now, I don't think our opponent can kill us on turn 3. Oh, they have a Lotus... Oh, they just exiled the Lotus Room, right? Oh, they're just going to kill us anyways. Oh, no. Okay. Just the Phyrexian Unlife, and they have 1 card in hand. So, all damage. So, Garruk Thar actually is good against this. That's why I kept it in. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, first things first, I guess I add some mana. Alright, that puts us up to 4. That's enough to cast the Garruk. I could activate this. for all of... so I guess that's a break even with our 3 symbols here. So I'll just go ahead and play Garruk. I'll add a mana, just a normal mana. I'll untap my lands. Alright, and now we have some more mana working for us. So I have 1 floating, 2, 3, 4, but more because of this. So I think we can Summoner's Pact for an Acidic Slime to hit the Pentad Prism. I think that's what we're going to do here. And then our next turn might be a little worse, but we'll also be adding Devotion, so it'll work out fine in that sense. I also have this other Nykthos land drop, though, don't I? Maybe I can do even more this turn. I didn't think about that. It is turn 3, right? Yeah, it's turn 3. Okay, let's go ahead and let's add some mana like this. Alright, now let's go ahead and use that to make a bunch of green. Okay, so now I have 6 mana. Now I think I'm 1 short here. Because I could use 5 of it to play Garruk. That doesn't really do much for us, though. The problem is I would then have 1. I would be exactly 1 mana short of activating this Nykthos for a bunch of mana. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and Summoner's Pact here. And see what we want. Because I might be able to go deeper, right? I might be able to get... What if I just got a Burning-Tree Emissary here? Would that work? The Acidic Slime doesn't work. But I could Burning-Tree Emissary and then get Acidic Slime, right? If I get Burning-Tree Emissary, put it into play, we still have 6 mana. Then I Nykthos down to 4 mana. But then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. And then I'm up to 9 mana. I can Summoner's Pact again. But I don't really think that changes much. Because... Well, that might be the difference between me playing Rurk Thar next turn as well. Because I guess the slime adds the same amount of devotion to our pool. With that, and we still have to pay for 1 pact, and I pay for that pact with the Nykthos I have in play. Doesn't sound great. I'm sorry. I want to think this one through just a little bit here. This deck is... I didn't expect this deck to be this hard, but here we are. What if I got the Chameleon Colossus and just tried to kill him really fast? Would that work with everything? If I get Chameleon Colossus, play it, I go down to 2 mana. Then I play my land. And I activate my land for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2... Sorry, I'm counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I have 7 mana. But none of it is red, so I can't play Rurk Thar. Alright, I'm just getting the Acidic Slime. I'm going to stop overthinking it. And I'm just going to hit this Pentad Prism. Well, no, probably Phyrexian Unlife, actually. This is, you know, the thing is they have the Lotus Bloom in their graveyard. So, I'm sorry, suspended. They've also exiled 2 Simian Spirit Guides. So this means they actually have to have another piece of the combo. You know, Pentad Prism is interchangeable in 2 turns anyways with the Lotus Bloom, and I don't know if we're having them dead by then. So, getting the Unlife at least forces them to have another card. Well, turns out they do. That other card is another Phyrexian Unlife. Alright, I'd like to not lose the game here, so this is pretty awkward, but I have to do this. It has nothing to do with that mana in my upkeep, so let's just go ahead and lose it. That's fine. We're still going to have plenty of mana here. Alright, so let's untap these. First things first, let's do this. Whoa. I want to add red mana here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I guess I also mess up. This is just free, so I should just play this. Alright, so we have 8 mana. I can cast Garruk Primal Hunter. Alright, this gives us some way to do stuff here. We can start making beasts and then overwhelming them with Wildspeaker to try to win. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's better than drawing cards. Now I can play this Nykthos for a lot more mana. Yeah, we have a lot going for us here. The question is whether or not we're actually going to be able to kill our opponent before they get that Lotus Bloom online. We get one more turn to try to do as much damage as we can. I think we might be able to, with the overrun effect with all these creatures in play. Alright, I'll go ahead and play this Nykthos. Keep the untapped one. Add a kind of absurd amount of green mana to our pool. 12 green mana to our pool here. So we have 13 total, so we should be able to just Summoner's Pact, play anything we want, and the Garruk Thar. Not that what we have is too incredible, but I'm going to go ahead and get the Chameleon Colossus here. Alright, play Chameleon Colossus. Put this into play. So the point is we're going to have a lot of power next turn, and we're going to have Garruk Thar to hopefully keep the Phyrexian Unlife from winning them the game, because this kills them with 2 casts. So I think this might actually work. Now, of course, this is all contingent on us doing enough damage to our opponent next turn to force them to trigger the Unlife, because the way this works is it's not like if, say, one attacks up there at 5 and we dealt them 10. They don't take 5 and then go to -5. Well, rather, they don't take 5 damage and then take 5 infect. It's what happens is all the damage is dealt at once. They go to whatever negative life total they go to, but that damage is all dealt at once. It doesn't stack that way. Then any damage after that starts being dealt to them as infect. So the thing is, if we couldn't kill them next turn, I mean, the Garruk Thar is slightly different in that it would deal them multiple triggers, but it still wouldn't work exactly the way we want it to. But because we can just overrun this Garruk next turn, and we happen to have 6 creatures in play, we'll be able to deal 18 to our opponent. So then when they try to kill us, well, they're going to die, because the Lotus Bloom is going to trigger the Garruk Thar, and they're going to take 6 infect, and then the next card is going to trigger it, and they're going to die. Heck, I think it might even beat the split second from, because it's a triggered ability. Might even beat the split second from Angel's Grace. I guess we're going to find out. I do need to go ahead and pay 4 so I don't lose the game. I think I can do it this way. Well, this doesn't matter, right? I should just keep all my creatures. I shouldn't overthink this. I should just... I don't want to... something weird happen and not do enough damage to my opponent. Because whatever we're going to draw here, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be important. It's a Summoner's Pact. Kind of important. But you saw, we actually don't even have that much to go get, so... Although that said, I can't draw cards with this one if I want. In fact, I may as well, right? Ah, we should just attack first. For what it's worth, this also happens to us. Alright, well, they don't have Settle the Wreckage mana open, so I guess we're good to go here. This should take my opponent to a negative life total. Oh, they're going to Angel's Grace it. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. In fact, it's very good. We will put them down to 1. 1 is not 0. Let's draw a bunch of cards. Well, I get to play exactly one of these, and it's a Utopia Sprawl or an Oath of Nissa. Yeah, I mean, none of this was super relevant. This would have been pretty hard to cast. Yeah, let's play the Oath of Nissa. Yeah, I'll take 6, whatever. I don't think it matters. Sure, we'll take lands. All right, well, we're going to pass to our opponent and hope that Rogue Thar is good enough here. I mean, all of that said, you know, I'm sitting over here. They're at 1 life. I'm stressing about, you know, what they might have. But at the end of the day, the truth is, there's still a Rogue Thar in play and they have no cards in hand. So when this Lotus Bloom comes in here, it's going to take them down to 0. And now they just have to top deck ad nauseum to even have a chance. So, you know, and in fact, this Lotus Bloom is going to put them at negative life. So actually, I don't even think they can kill us. Because this will put them down to 0. And then let's say they draw ad nauseum and they cast ad nauseum. Well, okay, now they have 6 infect. And then they cast whatever they want to win with off ad nauseum and they lose to the Rurik Thar trigger. Unless, I guess, it's Lab Man. That wouldn't deal damage to them. But yeah, we're just going to win anyways. There you go, everybody. Mono Green Devotion. Taking it down. I'm Corbin Hostler. This is Mining Modern. Let's give it another run. That was great. Hey, everybody. Here we go with some more Mono Green Devotion. This hand is a lot of mana, but no mana at all. So we're going to get mulligan. This one seems pretty fine, though. Definitely never any complain with the hand with Arbor Elf. I guess I'll bottom the other Nykthos. Probably just need one. We're on the play here. Don't know what we're up against, so I'm just going to get a basic forest here. Play the Arbor Elf and pass the turn. Next turn we play Oath of Nissa to go digging. We've got the Nykthos, and we really just want... Okay, I've imagined they're just an actual Elves deck, so we'll see if we can go over the top of that. Alright, we've got a land. Let's go ahead and Oath first here. See what we can find. Alright, I like these cards. I wish I had more mana, but I like these cards. Well, it's just got to be Garruk Wildspeaker. Burning-Tree Emissary tempting. We could play it next turn. Have the mana to activate Nykthos for 1, 2, 3, 4. But I wouldn't have 5, right? Yeah, I don't think I'd have enough. So I'm just going to get the Garruk Wildspeaker here. Play this land and do it again. I don't know if we can beat Elves very easily. We're going to find out. Alright, Nissa Voices into card is. Okay, let's pass the turn. So next turn we have Garruk plus a Nykthos activation, which should lead to another Garruk. So depending on what our opponent has going on here, and that's a lot of mana, but that's not a ton. And we are going to get to resolve some planeswalkers here. It's not going to be completely crazy, but it is going to be pretty decent. Alright, that gets us to Wildspeaker. Wildspeaker will untap these. Oh, I actually don't have enough, do I? I'm 1 short. Well, fair enough. Our Garruk should be able to survive a hit from them. Next turn we get to play all of these things. I won't lie, I am worried about just dying to the Elves deck. If they now have plenty of mana. Yeah, not having a Utopia Sprawl was a big difference maker there. But we didn't really have much else that we were looking to do on that turn. So this is definitely the correct play. And our opponent's not even going to get to attack us this turn, at least. Summoner's Pact is good. I like drawing Summoner's Pact, that's for sure. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this makes a little bit of mana. I think I just have to do it now. I think it has to be the first thing I do. Because I don't have enough mana to activate it otherwise. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We have 4 mana now. Let's go ahead and untap these. Alright, now I'm looking at some mana. Now I think I can go Nissa activate. Alright, so let's play Nissa. I think we can get a blocker out of this. Hopefully. We're trying to play the board here. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not, but I do think that's the position we're in. All right, so now I can add mana back this way. I'm up to 6 now. I can play Garruk. I'll go down to 1 left. Yeah, this will be perfect. All right, I've got 1 left. I'm going to make a beast. All right, I'm going to untap this. I'm going to tap it. I'm going to play this Nykthos. I'm going to keep this Nykthos. I'm going to tap this Nykthos for green mana. And I'm going to play this Summoner's Pack with 9 mana in our pool. Now, what do we want? That's the question. I could Acidic Slime their only land. But I think Hornet Queen's actually what we want here. I think Hornet Queen's probably very good. I love it. Play the Hornet Queen here on turn 4. With 3 planeswalkers in play. You know, just as you do. And pass the turn back. Like I said, I can see kind of wanting the... there's a lot of different ways you can look at this. On the one hand, having access to Creative would be nice. On the other hand, we're just going to overrun with this Garruk with all of these creatures in play. That or our opponent's going to have to make attacks that see them lose almost everything. The only way I see this going poorly, like, besides just getting overrun by our opponent on this turn, is if they're actually playing some form of combo elves. But they do have 7 mana in their pool and 3 cards left, so it could get very scary for us very quickly. If they're playing combo, that would be a thing. I don't really think that's a thing anymore. Combo elves with Colossal and Curio, but hey, it exists. But that's probably not the case. So the biggest danger here, and our opponent's realizing they can actually get more mana out of this. Oh, they're going to Chord here. Yeah, I think we might be dead. Oh, it's going to be close. What's going to happen is our opponent is likely going to Chord of Calling for Ezuri. At which point they can pay mana to overrun if they have Ezuri in play, but then they have no creatures to attack with. I think this is the math my opponent's doing right now, is trying to figure out what they're actually going to be able to attack with after they go get Ezuri, and they're determining that the only way to attack with anything at all is to tap the Elvish Mystic here. Because if they tap all their creatures to Chord for Ezuri, yeah, it makes a little more mana with Elvish Archer, but is that really getting you anywhere? No. Without creatures to attack with. So, that said, what do I know? X equals 1, so I just know nothing. Yeah, I mean, Heritage would make sense. They certainly have access to a lot of mana here with 2 cards left, but if we're not just dying, if we're not just getting comboed to death, is it going to matter? We have 12, 16. We have 16 in the air next turn. All right, now here's the Chord for 3. The problem is 16 in the air might not win the game, and we might just die on the crackback, which means I might be forced into weird blocking situations here. Oh, there's Shaman of the Pack to me instead. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. Oh, am I going to get Shamaned again? Oh, no, there's the Ezuri. But I think my overrun's lethal now. I think that's what happened here, though. My opponent's plays were obviously very good at setting up a board, but the issue now is that when I overrun my board, I think they're just dead. I definitely want to pay for this. That seems important. Overpay to be sure, but worth. Losing the game, not really something I particularly want to do. All right, so yeah, we just have lethal in the air. My opponent's just dead. OG Garruk right here from Lorwyn. Still pretty good. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature we control. Why don't I draw cards? Let's draw cards. Let's draw 7 cards. Oh, that's a lot of cards. That's funny. There's actually no lands in there, though. All right, let's just attack and win the game. Overrun, still a pretty good ability, as it turns out. On to the sideboarded games. With all of that said, I don't think we have a great matchup here. The ballistas are obviously insane, but Worship also seems very, very good. The rest of it seems not very good. All right, so how are we going to sideboard here? I don't think Nissa's very good in the matchup. It's not really a hit them with 5/5 sort of matchup. It's we go way over the top or we clear their board with ballistas. Keep in mind, remember, Summoner's Pact, unlike Court of Calling, cannot get any creature. It has to get a green creature, so we can't get ballista with it. The Scavenging Ooze doesn't seem great. Feels like we probably... If Scavenging Ooze has enough fodder to be good, we probably should have already just won. I guess Garruk Thar is probably the next cut here. Million Colossus isn't great, but I think Garruk Thar probably just hurts us more than it hurts them. I'll give this a shot. If our opponent has a good draw, it's going to be difficult for us to interact. That said, I can get behind this. We've got the Arbor Elf. We've got a Ballista. That is a very good start. This hand needs... I mean, it needs some work to really make a lot of mana, and we might just get overrun before that happens. Not... I guess I should be careful talking about overruns in this particular format we're playing here, because their deck plays overruns in the form of Azuri. Our deck plays overrun in the form of Garruk, but no one's playing the actual card overrun. As it turns out, I just meant overrun in the sense of maybe they're just going to attack us with a lot of creatures. Oh, that's annoying. Rip our Nykthos. I don't think it stops Utopia Sprawl, though. Because I think Utopia Sprawl produces the mana? I think it says when you tap it, then you add one. I'm not positive. Alright, we have access to 3 mana here. Let's go ahead and play our Oath and Nissa. Do we want Nissa, the voice of Zendikar, to go with her Oath, or do we want a Thragtusk? If that's what my opponent did on turn 2, I kind of like trying to make a wall of tokens here. Hard to say. Alright, not doing anything else with my mana this turn, so I may as well just play this Stomping Ground tapped and get on in there for 1. Alright, got our opponent down to 19. We're doing it. This Damping Sphere is going to make the game interesting. It certainly makes our Walking Ballista way worse, but the thing is, Walking Ballista is pretty good even when it's bad. So, I actually think if I just play Ballista and shoot their Land of War Elves down here, it's going to be really hard for them to beat that. Alright, so I've got 4 mana. I kind of think I just play Ballista for 2, to be honest. They clearly need the mana, which means I really don't want them to have it. So, yeah, why not? And the thing is, if our opponent is just playing X1s the whole time, then, I mean, what are they going to do when we just pay 4 mana and kill their next mana dork? It makes whiffing on this draw step extremely bad for them. Because then I just throw 2 mana into 4 mana into my Ballista, shoot down the next one. And this is fine, because this means I still get to attack their mana, which is all I'm trying to do here. Meanwhile, we're actually... That's actually a perfect draw, because now we even still have something to do. Alright, we'll shoot down the Elvish Mystic. Now we'll make mana for our own Birds of Paradise. So, yeah, I mean, we're playing really slow here, but like I said, that bird was a great draw for us. Just hitting land drop plus bird there just to advance our mana, so the next turn we can try to do the same thing with our Walking Ballista. We can just, just systematically shoot down all of our opponent's creatures over and over again. And it's going to get out of control pretty quickly for them. As long as we keep making land drops and keep making mana. And we're not necessarily doing that at the moment, but I still think this is pretty fine for us. You can also just make a beast with Garruk. In fact, I think I might just make a beast with Garruk. The only... what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4... I have 6 mana right now. So I could Garruk plus play Nissa. Maybe I'll do that. I like that line a little better here. Alright, play Nissa. Oops. Messed up. Oh, the Damping Sphere. I was so confused. I was like, why can't I play my card? Let me play my card. The Damping Sphere means it costs 1 more. That's fine. We'll make a token. Alright, so our Walking Ballista did nothing this turn, but the point is our opponent, at least with what they have on board, can't kill either of our planeswalkers. We get to throw the plant in front of one of the 2/2s, so we get to untap with both planeswalkers, and are then able to go from there and figure out what we want to do. Which is probably just going to be dump mana into Walking Ballista, but untapping with these is just going to be such value over the course of the game. I mean, heck, there's also maybe a line there where I actually use Nissa to put a counter on Ballista, but okay, that's one way to do it. I guess that means our Ballista was good enough, our plan worked. But the thing is, even if our opponent attacks all out, let's say it Nissa, I just block one of it. I just block 2 of it. I let Nissa go down to 1. Then I untap. I have a bunch of mana. I can Summoner's Pact if I need to. I can just grow my Ballista, start shooting down their team. Heck, I can't overrun them to death, I guess, quite, but it's close. Then if they go after Garruk, they're in the same boat. Then we just minus our Nissa. That was sweet. Walking Ballista, great sideboard card out of Mono Green Devotion. Just plain Mono Green Control, I guess. Thanks. That was a fun one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's see if we can get there in the final match. Hey, everybody. More Mono Green Devotion here. So this hand, I'm going to mulligan it, but it is tempting with a Nykthos and a Burning Tree. This hand is not terribly far off from having a good turn 3, but I do think we need to mulligan it with so many expensive things. And you know what? This hand seems great. Utopia Sprawl. Yep, I'm in. Keep that on top. Not that it matters here. We're fetching. So just going to go ahead and fetch. Get a basic forest. Throw down a Bird's Paradise. And see where things develop from there. We've got a Utopia Sprawl next turn. Bird's Paradise, not quite Arbor Elf. So not quite as broken with the Sprawl. But still pretty good. Yeah, this game is going to be all about just finding mana for us. We have access to 4 of it right now, which is enough to try our Garruk next turn, and we're definitely sending a message here. I don't know if you ever thought I wouldn't send a message here, but I'm definitely sending a message here. Yeah, get on in there, Birds of Paradise. Take... I'm sorry, you don't even know why I'm laughing. Literally, as I was saying, oh, I'm definitely sending a message. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. My opponent goes, sending a message in chat. They know what's up. Little Planeswalker, congrats. You know what's up. That's what I like to hear. All right, so we'll see what happens. They peaked, so they know what's up. They know what's in our hand now. So, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out if they have a counterspell or not when I slam this Garruk, because I'm definitely going to slam the Garruk. And it's one of those things where, hey, if they have it, we might be in some real trouble. But if they don't, we might just run away with the game. So it's definitely pretty awkward for them. They have to have... Remand is fine, but it has to be Remand, Logic Knot, or... and it can't even be Logic Knot if I hit a land drop. So... or, negate or mana leak or whatever. So we'll see what they have here. They're actually tapping mana in their main phase, and I have to imagine that that's good for me. Because it means, well, they're thinking about it. One, it means if they tap out, we're definitely resolving Garruk. The only question would be which Garruk. In our upkeep, they're going to Merfolk Trickster our bird. Interesting play. I understand. Okay. And we got punished. We got punished really hard for it. Well, I say we got punished. We didn't get punished. We didn't do anything wrong to get punished for. But my opponent's playing Merfolk. Good for them. Peak it's a card in Merfolk. I don't think it's a good one, but it's fine. I liked it better when this flex spot was dismember, but hey, whatever. All I know is Simic is coming out in Ravnica Allegiance. And the last time we were on Ravnica... and we got Simic cards, there were Merfolk involved. Merfolk's my favorite deck for those of you who don't know, and honestly, I don't know how. If you watch this series, you don't know. I put a Merfolk card up on the deck builder screen every single time I do a deck tech. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I have faith that we're going to get something good from Merfolk and Simic. Standard is so close to being a deck. There are a lot of powerful cards. Branchwalker's already played. Jadelight Ranger's already played. Kumena is just an enormously powerful card. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful here. All right, let's see if we can get a land. Land would be great. Oh, we did it. All right, so what to do here? Do I play this Garruk and make beasts, or do I play this Nissa and start clocking them for 5? It comes down to whether or not we think they have spreading seas. That's the answer here. Because playing Garruk and making beasts to block or whatever doesn't really do anything if they have spreading seas. But, and this is just my opinion, my take on it, if they had spreading seas, they would have spreading seas this forest to make the Utopia Sprawl fall off. So, with that said, I'm going to play this Garruk. I think it's a scarier threat than Nissa. Now they might be saving the spreading seas here. They might have us. They might draw it, right? Obviously, there's a lot of ways in which they can get us with it. But I just don't think I really have a better option, no matter what. I mean, playing this and up, well, good on them for letting me resolve a Planeswalker only to do that. That said, unless this is another Lord coming down, we're not even going to lose our Garruk. It probably is, though, because otherwise they would have cast it with 2 islands and then animated the Mutavault. So, yeah, I think we're in trouble here. Or not. It's just another Spreading Seas. Okay, well, I certainly don't have very much green mana anymore. You got me there. But I am going to have this Garruk for another turn. All right. We kind of desperately need to hit a green source here so that I can Nissa. Oh, what a disaster. I can't plus with this thing anymore either, or minus to draw cards. This was about as unlucky as it can get here. I don't think our single color deck is supposed to get hosed by Spreading Seas, but here we are, paying the price for the one Birds of Paradise, or the one Keswick Wolf Run, I guess. I guess we'll attack. I mean, things are honestly looking pretty bad for us. If I've played a lot of Merfolk in my life, this is exactly where Merfolk wants you, where you're trying to race, but they still have a bunch of life, and they have Island Walk, they've got some creatures, you're not really doing much about it, you just have to pass the turn. I mean, we're pretty dead. We'll see what they have here. Reedry. I think we took the right line. I mean, we got on top with our Garruk. If we had just had another Greenland, we could have then played the Nissa and, clocked him for 8 while making another beast, threatening to hit him for 11 the next turn. I mean, that's something. I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, our opponent, they have another Lord here. That means the team has Island Walk, so they get to untap our guy, or tap our guys. It doesn't matter what they do with this trigger. Maybe it gives them a 1-drop, but that'd be all. So they're just going to get to hit us for 9, and we're just dead next turn. So, and they're actually going to take out Garruk, even though, well, I guess there's no reason not to, because we're still dead next turn. Yeah, it's not going to get it done. All right, onto the sideboard. Nice game. I can't lie. I'm never going to be that sad losing to Merfolk, right? That said, we have some sideboard here for him. Merfolk just can't beat some of these cards, to be quite honest. Merfolk is not going to beat Choke. Merfolk... Well, I'm sorry. They can beat Choke. They're definitely not going to beat Worship. The Ballistas are very good against them. The Slime is... It's whatever, but I don't even know if it's worth it. No, it's just kind of not, to be honest. Same with Scoos. Scoos is pretty medium here. Million Colossus doesn't do too much. I can chump block it a lot. I can't cut too many of my green symbols, so that's what we're running up against here. The thing is, there shouldn't be a lot of blocking and trading going on that Scavenging Ooze can actually interact with against Merfolk. They're going to be island walking or not attacking. That said, it's fine. I don't want to get rid of it. Maybe you're just Summoner's Pact here. Summoner's Pact's maybe a little bit of a liability. If they have Curse Catchers or... Now, this is a speculative hand, but you know what? I'm feeling lucky. I don't know. This hand makes a lot of mana. It's got Utopia Sprawl, which we want. It's got Burning-Tree Emissary, which we definitely want. and it's got a Nykthos, which we obviously want. So I don't think I can get a... I mean, it's hard. It just depends how you look at it. Nykthos is a land, but in some ways it's a combo piece in our deck. And when you have this and this and this, you're looking at 2.5 combo pieces, depending on how you consider the mana ramp. Now, obviously, if we get hosed by drawing all lands, we don't exactly have a lot of lands on our deck. We get pretty punished. But the alternative is that we just hit a planeswalker. We have 6 or 7, 8 draws over the course of 3 draw steps that just make this an absolutely backbreaking start against our opponent, where we make a lot of mana. Drawing land there is pretty killer, but I don't know. Maybe I'm prone to just keeping hands that are one piece away, and that's kind of how I looked at this hand. Is it's one piece away from being really good. Yeah, Spreading Seas not helping, not doing us any favors here. Choke is perfect, but they have the Oboro. The Oboro, no! Choke's not perfect. I changed my mind. It's still pretty good. I guess this isn't going to untap. That's annoying. They have the Vial, so if we can't put enough pressure on them, honestly, this might not even matter. But, I mean, look at it this way. If one of these Wooded Foothills was a choke in the opener, we would have definitely kept it. So, I don't know what to say. Well, this won't untap, but this Oboro does. This is one of the reasons why you play this in Minamo, and it almost never comes up. Almost never comes up, but occasionally it does. And with a Vial and the Oboro, they're probably going to be just fine against this choke. Notice that I haven't played our Nykthos because I'm trying to protect it against Spreading Seas. Imagine just running it out there, getting it Spreading Seas, and then getting our own Nykthos choked. I can't really do anything about just flooding out, though. There's not that many lands in the deck. I think it's like 21, 22 lands. Hitting 3 of our 4 draw steps being land is just pretty bad no matter how you slice it. I don't even think I can attack. They're just going to Vial something in. I need it for the Devotion in case I hit a 7-drop or something here. Also, we have Worship in our deck, remember, so just having creatures out. Because like I said, Merfolk can't really beat Worship. They certainly can't beat it in Game 1, almost any version of the deck. And even after sideboarding, they have to know you have it. And even once they know you have it, they basically have to counterspell it. So, it's what I'm saying is we're going to see. We have some draw steps that, even with this bad hand, can win us the game. Well, that'll hit our Nykthos too. Yeah, this Nykthos is definitely sitting in our hand as a, combo piece when we need it. There's another Lord coming, so I won't be blocking. We don't have a lot of turns. Well, maybe there's not another Lord coming. We don't have a lot of turns here, but we're not dead yet. Basically, even if I mulligan and then I draw 3 lands in a row, or 2 out of 3 lands, or 3 out of 4 lands, whatever it's been, we wouldn't win that game anyways, right? So that's kind of the other way I look at these. And maybe my approach to sideboarding is a little flawed. Or mulliganing. I should mulligan a little more aggressively than I do. Okay. Well. There's bad mulligan decisions, and then there's bad luck. And we got a little bit of both going on in this one, I think. Yeah, I don't really think we're gonna win this one now. I am hoping that my opponent's going to tech edge my Nykthos. I put it out there as bait. Not that I think it matters a ton, but they did take the bait for what it's worth. So we got that little moral victory, if nothing else. Alright, so my opponent has the Island Walking Lords. There's 6 coming in out of this turn. That puts us down to 11, which I can only assume that they're going to have 2 more creatures there to put into play to be facing down lethal next turn. So I think we're probably down to our last draw step here. Merfolk turns the corner very, very quickly. That said, this game had nothing to do with their deck pretty much at all. Our deck just kind of failed to fire this time around. But the Island Walk is actually a problem because generally in a creature matchup like this, my go-to would be, finding a Hornet Queen and just putting a Hornet Queen into play, having 5 Death Touch creatures that fly and just saying, hey, deal with this. But Merfolk does deal with that specifically by not dealing with it and going beneath it, through it, swimming under it. I don't know what you call island walking, but it's pretty effective, that's for sure. All right, well, 1 draw step. Let's see what we do. Oh, we hit a Ballista. Does that do anything? This Nykthos actually just breaks even. And this doesn't even do anything this turn. Because we're just dead. They all have island walk and we can only do it for 2. All right, good games. Fair enough. Yeah. Lost to Merfolk. What can you do? It's the best deck in Modern. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, everybody. Here is the deck tech for Mono Green Devotion. So I want to get this right. Anthony Skur's pack, and I'm sure I butchered it, so I apologize. But he took this to a top 32 finish at an SCG Open last month. Mono Green Devotion. If you watch the games, I hope you enjoyed them. If not, well, you're going to have some fun with them, that's for sure. So what are we doing here? We're making a bunch of mana, and how are we doing that? Well, the combo of Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl, been around for a long time in Modern, and it continues to make just as much mana as it always has, which is 4 mana on turn 2, thanks to going Elf on 1, Sprawl on 2, tap, untap. Now you have 4 mana, and you play Garruk Wildspeaker, untap, have 3 mana, I believe, after that, right? So, yeah, pretty crazy. That's what we've got. We've also got a couple Words of Paradise here to ramp. But the big ramp piece in the deck is this. It's a land, Nykthos Shrine of Nyx. It's the only devotion card in the deck, but it's an important one. The deck's named after it, after all. So you choose a color, add an amount of mana of that color, equal to your devotion to that color. So, if you can't tell, we're going to choose green here. So, between Burning-Tree Emissaries, Arbor Elves, we mentioned the Utopia Sprawls, Oath of Nissa, which, by the way, finds everything from the Nykthos to the Mana Dorks to the Planeswalkers that end up being your win conditions. Oath of Nissa does a lot for the deck. So, we make a bunch of mana with all of that. It gets pretty wild pretty fast, and then Garruk is both an enabler because it untaps your lands, but also a payoff because it overruns the turn after it comes out by minusing, just to give you whatever border creatures you have +3/+3 and trampling in the game. So then we've got the bullets, so to speak, the Summoner's Pact targets. We've got Hornet Queen, Primeval Titan, Garruk Thar. Hornet Queen, obviously, it'll lock down a board. Death Touch tokens are insane. Primeval Titan goes and gets your Kessig Wolf Run, which you'll use to actually kill people, use all your mana converted into damage. Garruk Thar, this destroys combo and control. Every time they cast a non-creature spell, takes 6. Adds up very quickly. Thragtusk for the life. Acidic Slime for the versatility. Same with Scavenging Ooze, pointed at the Graveyard. Chameleon Colossus. Protection from a lot of the removal spells in the format. Also, by the way, kills them really quick when you have a bunch of mana. You're noticing a theme here. Rounded out, we've got the Nissas, which both provide 2 devotion, keep you alive by making tokens, put counters on your team to help grow your team, which includes walking Ballista out of the sideboard, by the way. And then we've got Nissa and Garruk, Primal Hunter to round it out. So pretty sweet deck, top 32. Sideboard, nothing too crazy. Ballistas, like I said, these are your best card against other creature decks. Fracturing Gust, where it's applicable, blows up a lot of decks. Remember, it's an instant speed artifact enchantment board wipe. Rest in Peace, Blood Moon, Choke, Damping Sphere. These are all self-explanatory. Leyline of Sanctity, and a Worship. A lot of decks just cannot beat Worship. And since we're playing 1 Stomping Ground and 1 Temple Garden, not to mention sort of the freebies of the Birds of Paradise and the Utopia Sprawls, it's pretty easy to make different colored mana in this deck, and you can splash these cards. So there you go, everybody. Mono Green Devotion. Corbin Hostler, and this is Mighty Modern.